Hey gorgeous, welcome back to the makeup aisle. Today's video is going to be a tutorial on this look you see right here. I am going to be using the new Magic palette by Juvia's Place. So excited that I was able to get one during their kind of soft launch several weeks ago. Just to give you kind of a little I guess update as to what's been happening in my life. I haven't filmed or uploaded probably in about, I don't know, close to 2 months. I suffer horrendously from spring allergies. You can probably hear it in my voice that it does not sound the way it normally sounds if you've seen any of my other videos. As soon as, like the calendar said, spring starts today, like 2 days later, I was already with the watery eyes, the itchiness, the throat just feeling really gunky, really nasty. I mean, it was really, really bad this year. It got so bad that my face was very raw from all of the rubbing because it was itching so much. My eyelids were extremely raw to the point where I was wearing no makeup whatsoever except eyebrows to work. It was that bad, and I will not leave this house without eyeliner. If you know me, you know that's the truth. But it was probably like a week's worth of not putting anything on because I was just so already agitated with the way my face felt. So the last thing I honestly felt that I wanted to do was to put on makeup and get in front of the camera. So that went on for several weeks. Then I ended up getting just an extreme cold, like out of nowhere. It was something you would think you'd get in like the middle of January. I missed 2 days out of work. It was just brutal. Like, I can't even explain how bad it was. And that came a week before I left to go visit my best friend in Florida. So I was like, okay, I'm pissed off that now I have a cold after the allergies, but I'm like, thank God it's happening before I leave, because if it happened while I was there, I would have been super pissed. So I was there a full 7 days. I left a Wednesday, came back the following Wednesday. No allergies, no sickness, nothing. Everything was great. I get back the day after I get back because of the pollen in Connecticut. I mean, it was literally snowing pollen. I ended up with really bad asthma. I have asthma anyway, but the allergies do tend to exacerbate it. And so what you hear in my voice is actually really good. The first Saturday that I was back, I got back Wednesday, I was at work Thursday, Friday. Saturday I had gone out. I lost my voice completely for like 2 days, and it kind of kept coming in and out, in and out. But the asthma was really bad. It's starting to get better now. It was so bad to the point that I thought I may even have bronchitis. So I have been the last like month to month and a half, it's been brutal for me. So I just wanted to explain that that's really the only reason, or there's been several reasons why I have not filmed. I just have not been able to get in front of the camera if I was sick, wasn't able to talk, was coughing too much, and then with the allergies, my face was super, super raw and tender. So the last thing I wanted to do was put on makeup. But I'm back. I'm happy to be back. I have missed filming so much. I really enjoy doing this. I enjoy sharing my love of makeup with you guys. Love seeing your comments, love interacting with you in the comments section. So I am back and in full throttle, and we're gonna have 2-3 videos a week the way I was doing. I've got a lot of content because things have just been piling up. Got hauls and different tutorials that I'm going to be doing. So watch out. If you have like the little bell clicked, there's going to be a lot of notifications that I am posting videos because I'm back. Without further ado, and after that long explanation, let's go ahead and get into the tutorial. So per usual, I've already done one eye in the spirit of saving time and not having this video be super long. So I'm going to start it on my left eye the way I normally do with my MAC paint pot, and the one I use is in Painterly. I absolutely love this, and I always say this when I use this just because it's almost like a concealer for the eyes, so it makes the eyelid all just one shade. If you have any discoloration or anything like that, it really helps with covering all of that up. To set the paint pot down, I am going to use the pressed eyeshadow from ColourPop in Made to Last. You probably can't see it because it's very much almost like a skin tone or flesh tone shade. I really love this shade to set the paint pot just because it's closest to my skin tone. And even if I'm using a different shade, I always set the paint pot because then any subsequent shadows that I use do not skip, or basically they lay down really nicely and blend out great. So I'm going to go ahead and go into the Magic palette by Juvia's Place. They had a soft release, if you will, a couple of weeks back, and I was able to get one, and I absolutely love it. This is the way it looks when it's open. I am going to start with this shade right here called Nana, and I am going to, as I usually do, carve out a crease because my eyes are hooded. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Once I get that color packed on the way I want it, it's subtle, but you could still see it. I am going to leave that as it is, and as you saw, I was just going back and forth in windshield wiper motion, and like I said, I always basically carve out the crease above my natural crease because my eyes are hooded. And I went in with the Juvia's Place blender brush. This is from their 5 brush set with the purple handles. These brushes really impressed me, and no, this video is not sponsored by Juvia's Place because I'm also going to be dipping into their new blush palette because I absolutely love it. So I thought, you know, just to use as many Juvia's Place products as I can. But again, it is not being sponsored. All of these products were purchased by me. I just happen to really love their products. So the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to go in with my NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil, and this is in, if I can get it open, this is in Cobalt. And what I'm going to do is I am going to basically just paint the pencil on about 3/4 of the way on the lid, starting in the inner corner. So as you can see, that's about where we want it. I went up just a little above the natural crease again because I want that color to show when I open my eyes. And I don't know if you could see it from the video when you're looking at it, but there is a little sparkle on it, which is fine because I am going to add a really sparkly color on top of the eye pencil. So I'm going to take my MAC 242 brush, which is a great flat definer brush. I use this almost every time I do a tutorial because it is my favorite blush to use with pigments and glitters. So I'm just going to spray the brush with a little bit of MAC Fix Plus. Then I am going to pick up this color right here, which is like a bluish silver, and it's either Vai or Vi. It's spelled V-A-I. Really beautiful silver color. I love it. So I'm just going to pick that up with that brush, and then I'm going to go right over top the blue pencil. And as you can see, that's pretty metallic. Love the way it blends out. It is such a gorgeous shade. Once I have that color packed on, I am going to grab the brush I was using at the beginning, which is the blender brush. I'm going to dip back into Nana, and I'm going to use that to start blending out the top of that icy blue because I don't necessarily want there to be harsh lines, so I soften the top with this shade. And I'm just doing it right at the top because I don't want to blend out the color on my actual lid. I just want to kind of soften up that top edge. Once I'm satisfied that that's pretty well blended up top, and you can definitely tell that it's kind of going into the orange just a bit, I'm going to pick up a Sigma E25 blending brush, and I'm going to go into the color Jedi, which is down here. I'm really going to have to learn how to pronounce these colors, so I apologize, because they're gorgeous, almost like African names, and I don't want to keep butchering them as I'm doing these tutorials. So I apologize, because I really should have looked up these names before I started this. But this is a gorgeous blue. I mean, look at that packed on that brush. And what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to start from the outer corner and just kind of pack that color on there. So I'm pressing into the skin. And then I'm going to start taking it up above that grayish silver. And I'm going to start blending that out. So this color I'm not going to take really any farther than about halfway onto the eyelid, because I don't want it to go into the inner corner. So it's just the outer corner and then just a bit in, and we're going to go above that silvery blue. So I'm going to pack on. I'm going to keep packing this color on until I get to like a pretty dark color or pretty dark shade, because I am going to blend it out. So you're going to lose a little bit of that, and I will actually go in a little later and just pack on in the outer V a little more of that color. And no worries if you're a little messy up on the corner there, because we're going to clean up anyway. So as you can see, that's pretty dark. So I am going to go ahead in with my Sedona Lace EB13. I think I got this in a subscription box, but it is one of the most perfect blending brushes because it's just fluffy. There's no color on it. I'm just going to go in and start blending that out so that we're getting rid of that harsh line. And I am going to blend all the way into the inner corner, not just in the dark blue, because up top I kind of want to meld together the dark blue and that nice silvery blue. So as you can see, it's starting to kind of dissipate, so you have like a gradation of color that's blending out really beautifully. And once I have that blended to where I want it, I'm going to go back in with that blue and that Sigma E25, and I'm just going to pack it on the outer V, just so that that stays pretty sharp and pretty deep with that color. Now I'm going to go back in with the Juvia's Place blending brush, and I am going to pick up this shade right here, which is BECCA, which is a really nice orange, and I am going to use that now to blend out the top. And what that does is just add another pop of color, a little extra dimension up top. I'm actually going to bring this up just a bit on this side because I went a little higher on the left side. So I want them to at least look semi the same. And then I'll go back in with the Sedona Lace brush that has no color on it, and then blend that back out a bit. I'm also going to go back in with the MAC 242. I'm going to go back into that silvery blue, and I'm just going to kind of sharpen up the color because you lose some of that as you're blending out. And what I'm doing is kind of flicking it here in the middle, just so that we could get a little bit onto the dark blue, but not too much so that you might have to blend it back out. I'm gonna now, that's pretty much the top of the eyes done. It's simple, but still really packs a punch because I only used a few colors. But what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna clean up underneath my eye. And as usual, I always use the makeup wipe to kind of sharpen up that edge, so you really have a nice sharp edge without necessarily needing to use tape if it's not something that you like. Sometimes for me, the tape can feel uncomfortable under the eyes, so if it's something that really bothers you, you can absolutely sharpen up the edge with a makeup wipe. At this point, I am going to go ahead and do the liner on the left eye, and I am going to go in with my Maybelline Eye Studio Gel Liner in Blackest Black. And I am going to be using my ColourPop angled liner brush. I don't think they sell the brushes anymore on ColourPop, on the ColourPop website. I've been looking for them because I really do love this brush. It's quickly become one of my favorite liner brushes, but again, I don't think they're carrying them anymore. So what I will do is I like to link everything down below. I'll link you know, something comparable. I do like Morphe's brushes, Sigma's brushes. Juvia's Place has a really nice gel liner brush, so I'll give you a couple of options because I don't think ColourPop sells them anymore. So the liner is done on both eyes, so I am going to go ahead and start prepping the rest of my face, and I'm going to finish that off and then do the bottom of the eyes as well. I am going in for my primer today with the BECCA Ever Matte Poreless Primer. This is one of my staples when it comes to summer priming because it is so tacky, which I love. My skin is just so sweaty and oily during the summer, it's ridiculous. So like between this and the Makeup Forever Step 1 Mattifying, they are my two go-tos during the summer because my skin is just that bad. To correct today, I'm going to use the Smashbox Color Correcting Stick. I love this pencil, especially the delivery system for me is one of the best because you don't have to worry about applicators or liquid or anything like that. You just take the pencil where you need it and just apply the corrector. I'm going to take my Real Technique sponge, and it's just dry, and I'm going to press that into the skin with the pointy end. And because it is such a horrendously hot day, you can probably hear the fan in the background. I'm in the basement, so it's cool, but it is just so damn hot in here, and we have to put the units in. So I'm taking no chances of like absolutely sweating on camera. I'm going to be going in with the Hourglass Immaculate Liquid Powder Foundation. This is without a doubt one of the best foundations I have ever used. If you have oily skin, this is the way to go. I mean, this is so mattifying that you have to do a section of your skin at a time because it literally just dries down to almost a powder finish. And if you don't want to set this, that's how good it is. You don't even have to. I don't know if you're really picking that up, but how mattifying that foundation already is. It just literally goes on and boom, mattifies. I'm good with that coverage because I actually will go in and powder up. That's how sweaty I am in the summer. It's just so disgusting, but it is what it is. Then for concealer today, I'm going to go in with my MAC Pro Longwear Concealer, and we're going to put that under the eyes. And for both the foundation and the concealer, I used my damp beauty blender. To set the concealer, I'm going to go in with my banana powder from my Anastasia contour kit, and I'm just picking this up with the Juvia's Place tapered brush. It fits really nicely under the eyes, and it's just so soft, it's crazy. Like I said, even though this foundation is really nice and matte, I always like to go in with a powder. So I am going to pick up my Superstate Better Skin powder, and I'm just going to pick this up with a super fluffy brush. This is one of the e.l.f. brushes, and I'm just going to kind of tap that into the skin. So before I start doing my bronzer and all that, because I can, in the viewfinder, like when I'm looking in the mirror it doesn't look it, but in the viewfinder I am very pale, so I definitely am going to bronze up the skin to warm it up, but we are going to finish the bottom of the eyes first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with my ColourPop Super Shock Shadow in Luckfully. And if you've seen any of my other videos, I talk about this eyeshadow a lot. I don't know if you could pick that up. Like, it's very iridescent, but I love it because it's not necessarily like a powdery shadow, so I can really place it exactly where I want to on the lash line. So as you can see, I'm keeping it pretty close, but I am going to take regular powder eyeshadow and buff that out. Once I have that on my lash line, I'm going to take my Morphe E36, which is the world's cutest, smallest, fluffiest brush ever. I always use this for under my eyes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up a little more of that Yeji, oh god, I am butchering this, Yeji, which is the dark blue that I used on the outer corners of my eyes. So I'm just going to pick up a little of that, make sure I tap off a lot of that excess, and I'm going to start buffing it out, but very close to the lash line, because I don't want this to come down too far just yet. So I still have a nice concentration of color like near the lash line, but I've tried to buff it out so that it's softer than just having that harsh line that I had put on at the beginning. So you want to kind of basically blend it out, even though you want a lot of nice concentration of color near the lash line. You don't want that to be too harsh. So that's blended out and buffed out to my liking. I like the way it looks very much. I'm actually just going to leave it with the blue. Sometimes I'll go in the corner with the black, but I still have to tightline and I also have to add lashes. So I am going to be adding some more elements to the eyes, which are really going to make them pop and just look really great overall at the end. To tightline, I'm going to use my Modster pencil from Ardency. It's the one I usually use just because it's really creamy, and if you've seen any of my other videos, I talk about my stupid watery eyes all the time, and pencils just tend to go on and just go away. I am also going to, which I forgot to do on this eye, I am going to do my brow bone highlight. And I am just grabbing my Royal and Langnickel brush, which I always use for that. I'm going to go into this gorgeous shade Kessie. It is a really beautiful matte shade, and it's so beautiful to highlight the brow bone. To highlight the inner corner, I'm actually going to go into a new product that I just got. Just bought it off of Beautylish, and it is the Jouer Skinny Dip Shadow Palette. Yeah, that's going to blind you, I'm sorry. But, God, I'm going to try to show this to you without blinding you. If you haven't seen these shadows or swatched them, they are freaking amazing, like gorgeous. So I can't wait to actually use this in a tutorial all its own. So I'm just going to grab a Real Techniques brush, and this is a smudge brush. It is super, super tiny, but it fits perfectly like in that little crevice, so I love using it. And I think I'm going to pick up Bikini, which is like a pinky, just to kind of add another element and another shade. So love the way that looks on the inner corner, really makes it pop. And again, the pink, you can see it, it adds another element there. So I'm going to bronze my skin to warm it up, and I'm going to use my Too Faced Dark Chocolate Soleil, which is one of my favorite bronzers, especially because it is matte. I am grabbing my BH Cosmetics V1 brush, which is very fluffy, and it is from their vegan line. I've talked about BH brushes before. I really do like them. They are such good quality, and not just for the money either. They are very inexpensive, but really so good. Anyone that asks me, like, what brushes would you recommend? BH Cosmetics is one of the first ones that I always recommend. For blush, like I said, I am going to go into one of the new Juvia's Place blush palettes, and this is the Volume 2. That is what it looks like. The Volume 1 colors, I did get both because I wanted both. The Volume 1 colors are pretty dark, so I have yet to play with them, but I have used a lot of these, and the pigmentation, if you love their shadow palettes, the quality is the absolute same. You get great color payoff, great pigmentation, great blendability. I mean, they have been just kicking it out of the park lately, and I just absolutely love it. So I'm going to pick up my BH Cosmetics V3, which is their angled brush. I use this as a blush brush, and I'm going to go into the shade B, which is my favorite. It's almost like a mauvey purple, and I'm going to go ahead and apply that to the cheeks. So hopefully the camera is picking up how gorgeous that color is. It's just such a beautiful shade. To highlight today, I'm going to use my Makeup Geek highlighter in Celestial. It's a duochrome highlighter, and I haven't really used this as much as I like to. I used it the other day, and people at work were like, what's going on with that highlight? Because that's on fleek. I'm like, really? Truly? So I thought that I would use it today. It kind of has a purple shift, which I really do like. Yeah, and the viewfinder is picking that up really nicely. This is a gorgeous highlighter. I picked this up when it was on sale a while ago, but I do want to get some more. So what I'm going to do now is get lashes on these eyes, and that is not always a very easy process. So I'm going to do that off camera, and then I'll be back. I went ahead and put on the eyelashes, and I kind of zoomed you out a bit now that the whole face is done, and fixed my hair in the process. As you can see, I have bangs. I didn't have bangs before in my other videos, so I thought that I'd try something a little different. For the lips today, I am going to go in with a combo of the Urban Decay Gwen Stefani lip pencil and Ex-Girlfriend, and also the lipstick, which is one of my favorites, and I'm so glad that I picked it up before it sold out. It's just such a gorgeous everyday nude. So that is the entire look finished. I would spray my face with my setting spray, which is the Milani Make It Last, but my dogs are down here with me because it's the coolest place in the house, and I don't want to leave them upstairs where it's warm, and they will start barking like crazy people or crazy dogs when I spray. But I always finish my look off with the Milani Make It Last because it's my favorite setting spray. So thanks so much for spending a few minutes of your day with me. I can't even tell you how excited and glad that I am to be back in front of the camera, bringing you content after the illnesses and the allergies and vacation and all the stuff that kind of got in the way for the last several months. But again, I'm just so happy to be back with you, and thanks for your patience. If you've been wondering where I'm at, hopefully you have been. But again, I hope you enjoyed this look. I hope it's something that you're inspired to create on yourself or even on someone else. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Mwah. Bye.